Hello, everybody. How am I looking here? I better mute my sound. I don't know if. Okay. Hi. Uh, Welcome. I can't believe we have 15 people already. I didn't think I'd get any. Um, because I gave you a whole half hour of advance warning that this was happening. Um, but yeah, I was here at work and everybody left, and I was still here. And I don't think anybody's coming back because there's a snowstorm coming, but I could be wrong. We'll find out. Um, but I thought, you know what? What a good time to actually finally get this show on the road. This new setup has been in place for 3 months now or something like that, and I've just never found a time where I had the free time and I was also here or didn't or wanted to be here. And the time was now um, to finally start doing this and start doing this again because I shouldn't have ever gone on hiatus because there's just way too many videotapes to digitize. Um, so I really got to get my butt in gear. It's just been, momentum is a curse sometimes, especially if you're someone like me. And I finally got to get the ball rolling again. So I thank you everyone for being here. So here's here's how the whole gig works. As I said in the announcement video, I'm behind the TV studio here. I'm behind the studio set. Um, and I'm coming to you live from our old editing computer, which is a 2017 iMac, through its built-in webcam and microphone. And lighting in here is not the best, which is why I kind of look like crap. I could take one of our lights to light myself up, but it doesn't really matter. You guys aren't here to see me anyway. Um, and how the digitization works is it's all new too. Um, so how I used to do it was my workflow was based on DV. It was a DV format workflow. So I would hook the VCR, whether it be the U-matic or the Super VHS machine, I'd hook them into one of my DV camcorders, either my DV Cam camcorder that I use for YouTube, my Sony DSR PD150, or one of my Digital 8 camcorders, because those camcorders can take an analog input, digitize it, and output it through DV, which is great. So that's what I did. I used my camcorder to do the digitization, and I digitized the video as a DV stream. That's also nice because the DV camcorder provides a little bit of time-based correction, some rudimentary time-based correction. Time-based correction is not only important, it's almost imperative when you're digitizing videotape. And that's fine. A DV workflow works fine. DV is pretty high quality. It's 25 megabits per second. That's very high for a standard definition stream. But where DV is weak is that it has a 411 chroma subsampling. Now I can't remember what exactly that means, but basically it means that when analog video is converted to a digital DV stream, a lot of the chroma information in that analog video gets thrown out. DV says, all this is extra, I don't need all this chroma information, I only need a little bit of it to make, a good enough approximation of what the video's color information looks like in the digital realm. And for YouTube purposes, this is fine. DV's fine. My videos look fine as far as standard definition goes. But for analog videotape, especially a very high quality analog videotape format like Betacam SP, DV kind of does it injustice by throwing out a lot of that color information, that 411 subsampling. So I'm going to start doing something different, and it's using a piece of equipment that I got a few months ago. I really, really need to make a YouTube video of it because it is one of the coolest pieces of video equipment that I've ever received, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And I decided to bring it here because I think it could do a great job with this digitization. It's a NewTek TriCaster. Now, I don't know if I can get you a look at it here. This is it right here. A NewTek TriCaster is more or less a television control room and edit suite in a box. Physically, it's just an IBM compatible PC. It even runs Windows XP. But it's got a lot of special hardware tacked onto it. It's got 6 sets of video inputs, and each of those inputs could be composite, S-video, component, or SDI. And those could be cameras or VCRs or some sort of other video source. And it's a video switcher. It can switch between those inputs. It's also a digital VTR. You can record on it. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive. About 400 gigabytes is allocated for recording. So you can record either your program output or a specific camera or a specific input. And then it has its own, the TriCaster software, which runs on top of Windows XP, has its own editing software. It has its own character generator. It's also a character generator in a box. It's a very, very powerful machine, and they're very popular with small television studios. Even some like affluent high schools will get them for their video, their video production, extracurricular stuff. Churches like them for recording and streaming and editing church services. So this one that I have, it's an older unit. It's standard definition only. And it's amazing. It is the most fun toy that someone like me could ever dream of having. And this one works fine. It works great. So I'm really, really lucky that that I have it. Cathode Ray Dude has a slightly newer TriCaster. He has a high definition one. It's also much larger. It has a lot more inputs and a lot more stuff going on. So I'm going to be using my TriCaster here to do the digitization. So for example, for tonight, I've got our Sony UVW1800 Betacam SP VCR running into one of the inputs through its component output. The TriCaster has XLR audio jacks on it. It has 4 XLR jacks on it, and these can accept line level or mic level audio. So the UVW1800 has XLR audio outputs, so I'm just running XLR cables right into the TriCaster for that. And the TriCaster does not like VCRs unless they're time-based corrected. It will not play ball with a VCR unless it's run through a time-based corrector. Luckily, the UVW1800 has a built-in time-based corrector, so I can hook it directly into the TriCaster and it plays ball just fine. If we were doing U-matic or VHS, I would actually have to run these VCRs into one of my DV camcorders and actually capture it through the TriCaster's DV input. So at the end of the day, we're just doing it old school DV like we've always done it. But for Betacam, I can actually run it direct into the TriCaster. The TriCaster does not record in DV format. It actually records in an MPEG 422 format. So instead of DV's 411 chroma subsampling, the TriCaster does MPEG, or the TriCaster does 422 chroma subsampling, in which less of the analog chroma information is tossed out. So it's a higher quality format. It does use slightly more disk space. I think the TriCaster records in 30 or 35 megabits per second. But it's higher quality, especially for the Betacam machine here. It's just going to do a lot more justice. What else do I got going on here? Well, I've got a PVM in front of me so I can see what's going on. It's the PVM you saw in the recent video, the Sony PVM 14M4, 14-inch standard definition PVM. I have the TriCaster's component program output going into the PVM. So I'm viewing the TriCaster's program output. And then for you guys to be able to see what's going on, I'm doing something new in that area as well. What I used to do was, obviously I was digitizing on the same computer that I was streaming from. So I gave you guys a cropped window view of the Sony Vegas capture program, and that worked just fine. But because I'm digitizing on a separate computer from what I'm streaming, I'm actually running the TriCaster's SDI program output into this little box right here, which is an Aja UTAP. It's an SDI capture device. Feed it an SDI input, either standard def or high def, and it plugs in through USB, and it's just a USB SDI capture device. So that's how you guys are going to see it. And if I go to our little familiar capture window right here, and I bring a color pattern up on the TriCaster. There, I don't know how to get color bars up on the TriCaster, but there's a pretty picture, and that's coming out of the TriCaster's SDI output through the Aja UTAP and to you guys. Likewise, I can see it on the PVM in front of me too, through the TriCaster's component input. So this is how it's all going to work tonight, and I hope it all works out. I'm a little nervous. We got 16 viewers, which is great, and so without further ado, let's start digitizing. This Betacam machine's been a little bit cranky today, which it's always been 100% reliable. And as it is right now, it's still working fine, but what's happening is sometimes when I eject a tape, it throws an error up on the display, and I haven't been able to find information on what that error means. But I found out like the short form, really technical information of what that error means, which is take up spindle FG while no cassette. And I think what that means is basically the take up spindle is somehow still spinning after a cassette's been ejected. I don't know, maybe a weak spindle break. But before I started the stream, I just gave this thing a bunch of exercise, and after a while it quit throwing that error. So it might throw it again while we're doing stuff here, but it doesn't seem to affect the performance at all. So that's fine. So the first tape we're going to digitize. We're going to digitize it for two reasons. First of all, it's a 5-minute tape, so it's nice and short. Second of all, it conveniently has color bars and a 0 dB tone at the beginning of it. And I can use that 0 dB tone to set the audio input level on the TriCaster. Because for some reason, every time I switch from the live production mode to the capture mode, it resets the audio level, so I gotta set it again. And anyway, it's fine. I already calibrated the TriCaster because this tape has color bars on it too. I was able to use those color bars to calibrate the TriCaster's analog video circuits in it. So this tape doesn't say much. It says attention, Patrick, he's the station manager here, TVNB, Rogers Television. So this is from early 2000s. It was after Rogers Television bought Fundy Cable. The fact that it says TVNB suggests to me that it's probably from like very early 2000s, because they didn't use the TVNB branding for very long after Rogers bought Fundy Cable, or rather that the Fundy Cable system moved from Shaw Cable to Rogers Cable. Um, I've already I've already played this tape, you know, to make sure everything's going to work before I start streaming, but it just purely uses the Rogers Television branding. So, or actually, no, I forgot. It's got a year on it. It says Civic Choice 2000 Elements, Rogers Television Kitchener. So this is from 2000. It's a Fuji Betacam SP tape, 5-minute tape, and let's get this show on the road. And let's see. So that looks like the levels are good on your end. Sorry if you got jump scared with the tone. You have no audio and I don't. Do you have no audio? You have no audio and I don't. Do you have no audio? No, you don't. Why do you have no audio? Okay. I'll just let the TriCaster run. Why'd you lose audio all of a sudden? What the heck? This was working just fine before. Uh-oh. Okay, that's working. Sorry guys, obviously I didn't expect this to happen. I don't know why it's doing this. Decent picture though. Yeah, you guys, I saw the sine wave come up on the audio meter. So things should be working. We just go back to the talking woman here. So the TriCaster is seeing the audio. Why isn't the UTAP seeing the audio? Oh, it mutes the audio while it's recording. Interesting. That's not a showstopper because I can go back to the live production mode and record that way. That's okay. It's kind of dumb though. It's kind of dumb that it won't output audio in the capture mode while you're capturing. Okay, let me go back to the live production mode. camera 1 and
One a.m. weeknights for full coverage of the Walkerton public hearings, or tune us in on the weekend for our weekly update feature. Rogers Television, local matters.
so you should have audio now, I assume. Let me go back to the stream. Just take a look here. Okay, people are saying we have audio. Okay, fine. Rewind. I'll turn you guys down temporarily so the sine wave doesn't blow people's ears out. Okay, I have to record this from the video switcher mode, which I wasn't expecting. Let's see. Camera 1, audio. Audio looks good. Let's see. Okay. Record.
Water. Next to the air we breathe, it's the only resource left that is granted free to all people. Well, earlier this summer, something went wrong with the water, and the people of Walkerton paid for it with the loss of innocent lives and the suffering of many. Rogers Television invites you to hear both sides of the issue directly from those involved. Set your VCR for 1 a.m. weeknights for full coverage of the Walkerton public hearings, or tune us in on the weekend for our weekly update feature. Rogers Television, local matters.
Set your VCRs. Okay. Is everything good? Everybody seeing and hearing things okay? So I guess it's a bunch of, yeah, it's bumpers we're looking at. No audio for this part. It's video only.
Rogers Television would like to thank the many volunteers and staff who work together to make Civic Choice 2000 a success. Production of local debates and election night coverage raised the bar thanks to you. Congratulations and thank you also to the many candidates in this community for your participation in Civic Choice 2000 on Rogers Television. Local matters. Our attention now turns to Federal Choice 2000. Canada goes to the polls November 27th. Stay tuned to Rogers Television for federal debates and election night results in your area.
Cool. Is that it? Nope, we got another. We're almost done though.
Strong leadership means a strong community. Make an informed choice. Civic Choice 2000. Watch the Guelph mayoralty debate Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on Rogers Television. Civic Choice 2000 on Rogers Television is Guelph's source for local up-to-the-minute results on municipal election night. With live reports as well as local and regional updates, Rogers Television will put your civic choice on the air with a comprehensive current look. Stay tuned Monday, November 13th, beginning live at 8 p.m. for full election night coverage in Guelph. Civic Choice 2000 on Rogers Television. Local matters.
Okay, that was 5 minutes. VCR is giving the almost out of tape warning. Let me just shuttle forward here. Yeah, that was it. Okay. So I will stop the TriCaster's recording. And what I'm going to do now, just to test it, is I'm going to play what we just recorded back using the TriCaster's built-in media player. And we should be able to see and hear. Was this it? Yeah, I guess so. Hold on. I'll turn the sound down so I don't blow your ears out again. So if I set DDR1 and hit play, we don't hear any sound. Oh, is this the first? Oh, I have DDR1 muted. Here we go.
The only resource left that is granted free to all people. Well, earlier this summer, something went wrong with the water, and the people of Walkerton paid for it with the loss of innocent lives and the suffering of many.
Cool. It's weird. I set the TriCaster's audio levels to match the Betacam during the color bars and tone, which was 0 dB. And yet, while she's talking, the Betacam was registering minus 5 dB, while the TriCaster was registering like plus 3 dB, if not more. So I think the TriCaster's audio inputs, or the VU meters, might be a little off, not sure. But it looks like yeah, I mean, when I play it back on the PVM here, it looks just like as if I was playing it off the videotape right now.
Rogers Television invites you to hear both sides of the issue directly from those involved. Set your VCR for 1 a.m.
Yeah.
weeknights for full
Looks fine.
of the Walkerton
Oh, hold on a sec.
or tune us in on the week.
Oh, look at that. No. Is that? Yeah, that's St. Stephen. That's where I just moved from. Huh. I didn't even notice that. Wow. St. Stephen looked really different 20 years ago. All those old brick buildings you see, most of those are gone now. But that's definitely, I think that's King Street in St. Stephen. If it's not, it looks just like King Street in St. Stephen. Yeah. I think that's King Street in St. Stephen. Anyway, okay. So that checks out. And back to camera 1. I call it camera 1. That's just what it calls the input. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. Okay. We got our first tape down. Figured out the bugs in as such as not being able to you guys not being able to hear when I use the recording mode, but if I use the video switcher mode, you can. That's kind of weird. Anyway, get that out of there. See if this thing throws an error when it spits out the tape. No. It was mostly doing it on big Betacam tapes. So all the ones I have in front of me here that we're gonna watch is they're all small tapes. So I'll pick another 5-minute one here. And this is a Sony BCT 5MA Betacam SP cassette. Broadcast grade cassette for this one, not the usual UVWT industrial grade cassettes that were lower quality. Same damn tape stock. I think they just tested the tape, and whatever big roll of tape stock had the fewest dropouts on the test went into BCT tapes, and stuff that had a few dropouts went on to the UVWT tapes, and those tapes were cheaper, and it never really mattered. They were the same tape. Anyway, this tape says Provincial shows promos 98, 12 and 15 seconds each. It's a 5-minute tape. All right. Please show us the desktop of the OS. The TriCaster? I literally have no way to show you right now. But if you go on Google Images and search TriCaster Broadcast, that's what the machine's called. I think it's the only one they called the TriCaster Broadcast. You'll probably see it. Or if you go on NewTek's YouTube page and go all the way back in their video library, which is really hard to do now because frickin' YouTube took away the ability to sort videos by oldest first, so have fun scrolling down hundreds of videos. Stupid decision. Anyway, if you go on their old videos, you can see it. I think even if you search on YouTube TriCaster Broadcast and find a video from like 12, 13 years ago that's by NewTek, it'll show what the interface looks like. Someday, I promise, I will make a video of this TriCaster someday. I might even disconnect it from this setup and bring it back home so I can do it at some point. But I promise that will happen. It's a really, really cool piece of equipment. And it's been pure laziness on my part that it hasn't gotten hasn't had a video made yet. So I'm just gonna read through the chat here. Hello. We have 19 viewers. That's amazing. Thank you everybody for coming. I should shrink down OBS here so that I can see the chat. All right, that tape's done. I don't have my green masking tape here. That's okay, I'll keep track of what's going on here. Our tape is in. Okay, let's Go back here. I'm juggling two mice here. Let's do that and unmute that and hit record on the TriCaster and hit play on the VCR. Turning you up.
Check out why New Brunswick is internationally known for its fishing. Whether it's bass, pickerel, or salmon, it'll be on tight lines, Mondays at 6:30 and Sundays at 12:30 on Channel 10 TV NB. Do-it-yourself projects aren't always easy, but they become a snap on Trade Secrets, Mondays at...
Cut. Sorry. I am aborting that because my audio levels are too high again. So I gotta readjust here.
Do-it-yourself projects aren't always easy, but they become a snap on Trade Secrets, Mondays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 3 on Channel 10 TV NB.
Wait, go back.
Do-it-yourself Do-it-yourself projects aren't always easy, but they become a snap on.
Okay. I want to get the audio thing sorted out because I'll keep the levels the same for every tape I do. Pardon your ears because I think, well, I'll turn you down because color bars are gonna come on again. And hit record. Turning you up.
Check out why New Brunswick is internationally known for its fishing. Whether it's bass, pickerel, or salmon, it'll be on tight lines, Mondays at 6:30 and Sundays at 12:30 on Channel 10 TV NB. Do-it-yourself projects aren't always easy, but they become a snap on Trade Secrets, Mondays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 3 on Channel 10 TV NB.
That's a cool 3D effect, that logo flying in. Very nice. Very classy.
Shift into gear and learn more about restoring vehicles and keeping your car in working order. That's Shift. Mondays at 7:30 and again Sunday at 1:30. Only on Channel 10 TV NB.
Like the glass effect.
There's a lot to be said about New Brunswick sports, and you can catch up on the latest during Sports Monday. Call in with your comments starting at 8 p.m. on Channel 10 TV NB. Find out what New Brunswick meal is being prepared at the Inn on the Cove. Watch Tide's Table Tuesday night at 8:30 or Saturdays at 5:30. Only on Channel 10 TV NB. Spruce up your green thumb every Tuesday night at 9 or Saturdays at 5. It's the Maritime Gardener, and it's only on Channel 10 TV NB. highways, healthcare, taxes. It's politics on New Brunswick Forum, Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. on Channel 10 TVNB.
I don't know if they were still using the New Tech Lightwave on the Amiga, or if they were probably using something different.
It's a show about people and different lifestyles. It's NB Life, Wednesday nights at 9 or Fridays at 7:30. Only on Channel 10 TVNB.
That was recorded too loud. It was going into the red on the VU meter on the VCR.
Creating and presenting food. That's Carrie's Kitchen, and it's on every Thursday night at 8:30 and Sundays at noon. Only on Channel 10 TVNB. Attention all young people. Word Up is for you and about you. Fridays at 6. Only on Channel 10 TVNB.
Word up.
Meet New Brunswick's favorite fiddler, Bugs Green and Friends, Friday nights at 9 and again Saturdays at 6:30. Only on Channel 10 TVNB. Join in on the fun on Fiddlin', Fridays at 9:30 and again Saturday at 6 p.m. on Channel 10 TVNB.
I think this was during the Shaw Cable era. I think this was after Shaw Cable bought Fundy Cable. No, that was in 1999, I think. This is 1998. So this is the end of the Fundy Cable era. And it looks like that might be the end of the tape. I wish the TriCaster's record function in the video switcher mode had a pause function. In the capture mode, it does have a pause function. So I could pause it and then scrub through the tape and you know, resume if there was more on the tape and I was scrubbed through some blank space. Dang, I'm really bummed out that you can't hear stuff in the capture mode. That I mean, I think the quality is going to be the same either way. The capture mode is just a little more convenient. Yeah. All right. So that's that tape. Actually, I can show you here. I can bring it up on the screen. Back when I first got this TriCaster, I did make I made a superimposed graphic. So I think I gotta try and figure out how to. There we go. Yeah, it's little pixelated looking. You know, having to go through the Aja UTAP and then through OBS, but. When you look at the PVM, it looks like a super perfect, really high quality standard definition video graphic. But yeah, I made that little super there. All right. All right, that's the end of that tape. Two tapes down. I hope when I get these digital video clips off the TriCaster that I don't discover some reason why it's no good and I have to go back to the DV workflow. Alright, here's a 5-minute tape. A Sony BCT 5MA broadcast master tape. Ooh, this is the really expensive tapes. It says E-Pack, which I assume means entertainment pack. So it was a advertisement for some cable package you could get, and that's all we know. VCR's been behaving itself, which is good. No, we went digital in 2021, February of 2021. That's when we shut down. Well, we didn't shut down our analog transmitter. We're actually using the same transmitter, but what you do is you change out the exciter. The exciter is what creates and outputs a low power signal, which the transmitter then amplifies and sends out through the antenna. So we changed out our old analog exciter for a digital high definition exciter. 1080i. We're in 2007 now. No, we're fine with a 1080i workflow. We like that smooth, or at least I like that smooth 60 field per second motion. Of course, you can do 1080p at 62, but everything gets a little more difficult that way. And not all of our equipment does 1080p. We have a portable switcher that's only, we still use it. I bring it to council with me, and it's only 1080i. So, what else are people saying? Yeah, it was mandated. We actually had until this year, 2023, to do it, but we chose to just, I think we had till 2023. Maybe it was 2022, but we decided just to get it over with early, lest we be scrambling if we waited until we didn't have a lot of time to get it all done and get it all worked out. So, yeah. Yeah, I agree. 1080i is fine. It looks fine. It's great. The quality is excellent in everything we produce. So, yeah. Okay. That's ready. On to our third tape, which I assume is an ad for an entertainment cable package. Oh, the entertainment pack's going to be ending.
History Television examines the assassination.
I still have a dream.
It's almost history. The Freeview is ending soon.
Live from New York, it's...
On March 1st, the jokes are over, unless you order now.
My mom's number's on there if you want to check up on me.
That's okay, Bart. I trust you.
We're turning off the tunes on March 1st. Call now and get the entertainment package free for March. The preview is ending. Call Fundy now.
That was a fun little ad.
History Television examines the assassination.
I still have a dream.
It's almost history. The Freeview is ending soon.
Live from New York, it's...
On March 1st, the jokes are over, unless you order now.
My mom's number's on there if you want to check up on me.
That's okay, Bart. I trust you.
We're turning off the tunes on March 1st. Call now and get the entertainment package free for March. The preview is ending. Call Fundy now.
Steamed hams.
History Television examines the assassination.
I still have a dream.
It's almost history. The Freeview is ending soon.
Live from New York, it's
On March 1st, the jokes are over, unless you order now.
My mom's number's on there if you want to check up on me.
That's okay, Bart. I trust you.
We're turning off the tunes on March 1st. Call now and get the entertainment package free for March. The preview is ending. Call Fundy now.
So it's a different phone number for different markets. Is Teletoon still a thing? I loved Teletoon as a kid. We had satellite TV, of course. I don't know if it's still around, though.
History Television examines the assassination.
I still have a dream.
It's almost history. The Freeview is ending soon.
live from New York, it's
On March 1st, the jokes are over, unless you order now.
My mom's number's on there if you want to check up on me.
That's okay, Bart. I trust you.
We're turning off the tunes on March 1st. Call now and get the entertainment package free for March. The preview is ending. Call Fundy now.
Anyone remember 6 or 7-digit phone numbers? New Brunswick just went 10-digit last week. We finally got rid of 7-digit dialing because we're getting a new area code eventually. So you've got to dial the area code every time now. We were like one of the last areas in Canada that still had 7-digit dialing. Looks like that's the end of this tape by the looks of it. I'll shuttle through here. Someone told me something amazing recently, which was apparently as late as 1996, here in St. Andrews, New Brunswick, you could make a local telephone call by dialing 4 digits. You didn't have to dial the exchange code, just the customer code. I was still alive! And you could make a local call here by dialing 4 digits. How old school is that? That's incredible to me. Granted, it wasn't long before I was born. My mom still had a party line too. Here in this area, party lines and apparently 4-digit dialing went, lasted into the 90s. Pretty amazing. 4 digits, man. Oh shoot, I'm still recording. Oops. A lot of these TriCaster recordings are going to have a lot of black space at the end, apparently. Alright, so that was our next 5-minute tape. So the tapes we have left are 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. So we're getting into the longer tapes now. So this is a 10-minute tape. TMN, the movie network. Oh, this might not be something No, it might be something I digitize. It's got another label here that says TVNB Promos 2000, January 2000. So, we'll do this one. It's a Sony BCT tape. BCT 10MA. Okay.
Why not call the TVNB Fredericton Viewer Response Line at 462-3636 or get online and visit our website today.
I'm smiling because that's Patrick's voice.
You have more choices than ever. Satellite TV, wireless systems, even the phone company. Seems like there's a new one every day. But when it's all said and done, nothing beats cable. And now with digital cable, I get more channels than ever. Even local channels that I don't get with satellite TV. Plus music and internet connections much faster than my phone line can provide. Cable TV. It's really smart.
TVNB would like to remind viewers that beginning March 23rd, TV Bingo on Thursdays, regularly seen at 7 p.m. on Channel 10, will move 1 hour earlier to 6 o'clock during hockey playoff season.
Participation, finding solutions. Getting active is easy. And Canada's Physical Activity Guide shows just how easy it is. Rosella chooses to go skating with her daughter Letitia. They're having fun, and they're also enjoying the benefits of physical activity.
Physical activity is one of the ways in which we have so much fun together.
Rosella's solution is a participation solution. Try it.
My daughter does not cooperate with me. I've tried that.
I never realized how much patience I didn't have.
Oh, no, everything's fine. No, I've tried that too.
Once a weekend, we go out as a family.
The sun is shining, it's warm.
Hey, we have to spend some time together.
So that's our time.
We get ready and we go to the park or we go for the mail.
You know, if there's things that we need to talk about or whatever, that's usually the time it happens.
I don't know, just get a bit of perspective.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Production of local programming on TVNB Fredericton is brought to you in part by the generous support of the Sunrise Rotary Club.
Why not call the TVNB Fredericton Viewer Response Line at 462-3636 or get online and visit our website today.
Production of local programming on TVNB Fredericton is brought to you in part by the generous support of the Fredericton Junior Chamber.
Please join me, Carmen Kilburn, as I speak to Fredericton's outstanding citizens on the According with Carmen show on Mondays at 6:30 p.m.
We've seen this before, According with Carmen. He's popped up on some pneumatic tapes.
Learn all there is to know as we unveil the answers to fishing in New Brunswick with real evidence of a big catch on Tight Lines, Monday at 7:30 or again Thursday at 4 on TVNB.
We didn't have much to give then. So when they showed up firing them mean looks around the place and staring us down on prices, well, I was angry. Didn't seem to bother my father, though. He had me load another bushel of apples in their trunk. I learned later on that this family was in need.
The greatest gift we give, it's in our heart, what we believe, the way we live.
Caring for others. Pass it on.
For every teacher who strives each day to spark a child's curiosity, the cable industry provides a powerful teaching tool. With commercial-free programs designed for students, Cable in the Classroom is delivered to schools free by your cable company. Now educators across the country can build libraries of commercial-free, copyright-cleared educational programs for teachers to use in class. Cable in the Classroom, a world of learning at your fingertips.
Is that it? Nope, it wasn't. Oops.
We're
Oh,
watching
crap.
TV.
Oops.
We're watching TVNB, the New Brunswick channel, only on Fundy.
Is the TriCaster screwing up here? Why is it cutting off the beginning of that thing? Okay.
We're watching TVNB, the New Brunswick channel, only on Fundy.
I think we've seen that before in a prior stream. Now, is there more, or am I going to make a fool of myself again? Alright, I'm going into shuttle. Nope, I'm not going into shuttle mode. 1998.
This is a business program from TVNB that brings you up to date as to what's...
Watch your money grow on Taking Stock, Thursday nights at 9 or Sundays at 7 on Channel 10 TVNB. Brought to you by Fidelity Investments.
It's there, where the earth is scorched brown, where hair is white, and flood waters run murky gray. It's there where limbs are black and blue, and where life is burnt orange. Wherever people are in need, you'll see our true colors. The Canadian Red Cross, across the world, across the street.
Bring the working life of New Brunswickers to the table with labor-oriented discussions. Thursdays at 10 and Saturdays at 5 on Channel 10 TVNB.
Punching the Clock is sponsored by the Workers' Investment Fund.
The Royal Canadian Legion is concerned for the welfare of our senior citizens and is devoted to service in communities across Canada. They provide home care support, geriatric training, affordable housing, and are committed to dignity and independence. The Royal Canadian Legion. Service is our way of life.
You're watching TVNB, your window on New Brunswick.
Hey, John, what message would you have for the people that...
This is not TVNB, I think. I think this is what was originally on the tape.
There are answers out there, and if you're having difficulty...
They would reuse tapes that they got in the mail to like air a program from or something, and when it was all done and over with, they would reuse the tape.
They may have answers for you. Sometimes people can find themselves in problems. there are answers, there are solutions. Getting rid of the pets.
So I don't know what this is, but we'll keep playing, I guess.
Volunteers, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I would say our staff are people who I have to really admire their devotion. Not everybody has what it takes to come here and work with the animals in the way that these staff do. They're wonderful people. You know, this place is not the most pleasant place to come into at 8 o'clock in the morning when you got to clean up after the pups and clean the litter boxes and do all of those kinds of things. The staff are very dedicated. They're wonderful people. They give their time and their energy and their commitment in a way that is exceptional. And the same thing I would have to say for the volunteers. I mean, many people are interested in dogs and cats. I think a lot of people are surprised when they come here and see what we really do, and we certainly always need volunteers to come and help out, to walk the dogs, to help us, you know, clean up after the dogs and cats. We want people to work with the public. We want people to do all of the things that we do, and certainly we have a lot of different opportunities for volunteers to come and try out different things and get you know, job experience or experience, you know, working in an animal shelter.
If someone out there today wanted to be a volunteer or pass a little bit of cash on to the foundation, who would they call?
I would suggest that you...
That was a very abrupt end. I'm just going to see what the weather's doing outside right quick. If the snow's really building up, then I should go home. Nah, it's nothing happening. Oh. All right. So our 3 remaining tapes here are all 30-minute tapes. What one should I air next? You know what? Let's digitize this next tape, which is not from Cable 10. It's from the CBC. And it's titled In the Wake of the Woodboats, September 21st, 1997, with opening graphics, clean opening. So it's a whole finished program, apparently. Hey Ava, first of all. Hi. No, I run hot, so I'm fine like this. Also, it's really warm in here because everyone else likes it really warm, so I'm good. I look good. That's the important thing. So yeah, this is a finished CBC program, apparently. It's got a dub sticker on it, so apparently it was a dub. And also, a little bit rare for us, this is not a Betacam SP cassette. This is an original Betacam cassette. So it's presumably a standard Betacam signal. For 1997, that's a little strange that it wouldn't be Betacam SP. But anyway, we'll see what we've got here. The VCR's tape indicator is blinking, which is its way of telling you it's a standard Betacam cassette. If I hit the record key, it says, I don't know if you can see that. I think it's mirrored for you anyway. Can I unmirror it? I just realized I was mirrored. Not that it matters a whole lot, but... Oh no, it's not mirrored. What am I thinking? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see that, but if I hit the record key, the display says oxide tape, because that was the big difference between Betacam SP and ordinary Betacam. Ordinary Betacam has a ferric oxide tape, just like VHS, Super VHS, or U-matic. Betacam SP is metal particle tape, like High 8 or any of the DV formats. So, oxide tape with an exclamation point. All right, let's see what we got here. CBAT, the local CBC station. So this might have been a local program.
If you needed to have major repairs made to a small wooden ship, you might look for talents beyond those of a retired school teacher. But Stan Richardson is not your average retired school teacher, and he's custom made for the work at hand. He and the wood boat he's repairing both spring from a rich New Brunswick tradition, and the pair of them are a living part of our common history. Stan is a Deer Island Richardson, the boat-building Richardsons who ran a wooden shipyard on the Passamaquoddy for generations. Trained as a youngster by a father, uncle, and grandfather who built yachts and herring carriers, he brings those skills to rebuilding the Brunswick Lion, the last of the St. John River wood boats. The wood boat was the transport truck of New Brunswick's early and mid-19th century. It evolved from boats brought here by the Loyalists, but developed by the 1830s into a distinct local design to be found nowhere else. The bluff, full-faced bows of the wood boat were designed to open as much cargo space as possible in the full-waisted hull. Their purpose was to transport sawed lumber from the farmsteads of the river valley to the ocean-going tall ships waiting in St. John. They returned upriver with the necessities of life in rural New Brunswick: sugar, flour, molasses, iron goods, cloth, and glass. With a crew of 2, the wood boat plodded its way up and down the St. John, the vital link between New Brunswick rural enterprise and the world beyond the horizon. In all, there were about 250 wood boats built in the 1800s before they were overtaken by time and steam and the highways. The last of the original wood boats was broken up in 1936, and there wasn't a single blueprint or building plan in existence because the originals were all built by hand and by eye. In the 1970s, the King's Landing Historical Settlement undertook to build a half-size reproduction of a wood boat, and eventually commissioned Gerard Friolet of Caraquet to build the vessel on site. Friolet helped develop the plan for the hull and the rigging. The name Brunswick Lion came from the registry of vessels, which indicated an earlier wood boat of that name. The Brunswick Lion was launched in the summer of 1976. She was the center of attention at the landing for years. These pictures were taken during a short cruise on the Mactaquac Head Pond in 1983. Accurate in all her details, the Lion was a breathing, working bit of 18th century New Brunswick. Ghosting her way through home waters for nearly 20 years, so special that it could appear the landing itself had been fashioned as a mere backdrop, a jewel in a Victorian setting. Spruce and pine don't last long in the elements, and by 1993 the Lion was hauled ashore in grave need of major repairs. It was then that Stan Richardson entered the picture, equipped with a first-hand knowledge of the old ways and the skill and desire to see the Lion back in her element. In the last few years, Stan has torn off rotted planks and replaced hull timbers. It's a slow process. He spends his days meticulously taking the curved, three-dimensional measurements of each plank as it's needed, transferring them to firm, clean pine, and steaming each one until it's limber enough to be bent to the precise shape and turn demanded by the ribs.
Some of them are worse than others, but depends on where it is on the boat. If you don't like working on your head, you don't work as a boat builder.
Plank by plank, the last of the wood boats is rising again on the banks of the St. John, and she's expected to take to the water in the spring of 1998. In a way, the Brunswick lion is an almost perfect symbol of New Brunswick's story, of the forest that brought us here, the work and the ingenuity that established us here, and the great waters that carried us to prosperity.
I expected a half-hour program. Oh, it's different edits. Okay.
If you needed to have major repairs made to a small wooden ship, you might...
Here we go again.
Teacher. But Stan Richardson is not your average retired school teacher, and he's custom made for the work at hand. He and the wood boat he's repairing both spring from a rich New Brunswick tradition, and the pair of them are a living part of our common history. Stan is a Deer Island Richardson, the boat-building Richardsons who ran a wooden shipyard on the Passamaquoddy for generations.
I'm from Deer Island, New Brunswick. I'm originally from there.
The last of the St. John River wood boats. The wood boat was the transport truck of New Brunswick's early and mid-19th century. It evolved from boats brought here by the Loyalists, but developed by the 1830s into a distinct local design to be found nowhere else. The bluff, full-faced bows of the wood boat were designed to open as much cargo space as possible in the full-waisted hull. Their purpose was to transport sawed lumber from the farmsteads of the river valley to the ocean-going tall ships waiting in St. John. They returned upriver with the necessities of life in rural New Brunswick: sugar, flour, molasses, iron goods, cloth, and glass. With a crew of two, the wood boat plodded its way up and down the St. John, the vital link between New Brunswick rural enterprise and the world beyond the horizon. In all, there were about 250 wood boats built in the 1800s before they were overtaken by time and steam and the highways. The last of the original wood boats was broken up in 1936, and there wasn't a single blueprint or building plan in existence because the originals were all built by hand and by eye. In the 1970s, the King's Landing Historical Settlement undertook to build a half-size reproduction of a wood boat, and eventually commissioned Gerard Friolet of Caraquet to build the vessel on site. Friolet helped develop the plan for the hull and the rigging. The name Brunswick Lion came from the Registry of Vessels, which indicated an earlier wood boat of that name. The Brunswick Lion was launched in the summer of 1976. She was the center of attention at the landing for years. These pictures were taken during a short cruise on the Mactaquac Head Pond in 1983. Accurate in all her details, the Lion was a breathing, working bit of 18th century New Brunswick. Ghosting her way through home waters for nearly 20 years, so special that it could appear the landing itself had been fashioned as a mere backdrop, a jewel in a Victorian setting. Spruce and pine don't last long in the elements, and by 1993 the Lion was hauled ashore in grave need of major repairs. It was then that Stan Richardson entered the picture, equipped with a first-hand knowledge of the old ways and the skill and desire to see the lion back in her element. In the last few years, Stan has torn off rotted planks and replaced hull timbers.
It's a slow process.
He spends his days meticulously taking the curved, three-dimensional measurements of each plank as it's needed, transferring them to firm, clean pine, and steaming each one until it's limber enough to be bent to the precise shape and turn demanded by the ribs.
Some of them are worse than others, but depends on where it is on the boat. If you don't like working on your head, you don't work in boat building.
Plank by plank, the last of the wood boats is rising again on the banks of the St. John, and she's expected to take to the water in the spring of 1998. In a way, the Brunswick lion is an almost perfect symbol of New Brunswick's story, of the forest that brought us here, the work and the ingenuity that established us here, and the great waters that carried us.
You can tell this is file footage because it's so old. It was recorded with a tube camera. You can see the tube camera smear.
Of the 5%.
5%.
Can I take it just from the start, or from there? That's fine.
Okay. The Tobique First Nation will get their share of the 5% of the allowable annual cut. Okay. Sorry. In 3, 2, 1. The Tobique First Nation will get their share of 5% of the allowable annual cut. That's expected to be worth about $2 million a year. Humphrey Sheehan. Okay. Humphrey Sheehan is with the Department of Natural Resources.
That was fun. Yeah, there was no video.
You want me to do the last page now?
There's no video with this. It's somebody's voiceover.
Oh, the ending part? No. Wishful thinking, eh? The province... excuse me. In 3, 2, 1. The province still hopes that other Native groups will reach an agreement like Tobique, but for now, they're working to make this deal beneficial for both sides. Tomorrow, the Minister of Natural Resources meets with chiefs from around, yeah, that's right. I'm going to take it from the province. In 3, 2, 1. The province still hopes that... I'm sleeping. Okay, I'll take it again. The province still hopes that other Native groups will reach an agreement like Tobique, but for now, they're working to make this deal beneficial for both sides. Tomorrow, the Minister of Natural Resources meets with chiefs from around the province. It will be another attempt to hammer out more deals like this one. Lisa Blomstein, CBC News, Fredericton.
The first winner of the scholarship is Matthew Walker of the Fast Club. Presenting it is Marianne's father, Heinz. Okay. The first winner of the scholarship is Matthew Walker of the Fredericton Aquanut Swim Team. Presenting it is Marianne's father, Heinz. The idea for the scholarship comes from one of New Brunswick's greatest sports moments. The first recipient of the Marianne Limpert Scholarship remembers. And encouraging is what this scholarship is all about. In memory of Marianne's achievement, her family was asked if her name could be used to help worthy student swimmers continue their education. Peter Allison was one of the promoters of the scholarship. Heinz Limpert was on the selection committee for this year's award. Matthew Walker plans to attend McGill. He'll study science and, of course, swim competitively. As for Marianne, she's continued her winning ways with 3 gold medals during a European tour. She's now training in BC for the upcoming Commonwealth
You know
Games,
what?
and, of course, the Sydney 2000 Olympic
I don't need to digitize this.
No matter where she goes, the scholarship and other awards ensure her name will remain visible in New Brunswick. With this book, the unanimous winner of the Conn Smythe. But every team needs a leader. 3 compelling stories.
I'm curious. What
Cleveland
else
Allaby says he'll file leave
is
for
said,
appeal
though?
on Friday, just in time for the June 21st deadline. It's good? Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
This lady's funny to
Cleveland
listen to.
Allaby says he'll file leave for appeal on Friday, just in time for the June 21st deadline. But the Thomas Peter Paul case at the center of his appeal is about one Aboriginal person's right to harvest on Crown land. Excuse me. Which leaves the bigger questions unanswered. Who really owns the province's Crown land, and what rights come with it? Regardless of what happens with the specifics of the Paul case at the Supreme Court of Canada, Cleveland Allaby would like to see a reference case to answer those bigger questions. Should I take that over, or was that okay? It was fine? Okay. Allaby says this is the only way to get anywhere in the ongoing Native dispute. But UNB law professor John McAvoy says it isn't up to Allaby or the Natives to bring forth a reference case.
I was going to look at the end of the school year through the eyes of students and through the eyes of a teacher. 3, 2, and 1. Friday on NB Now, no more pencils, no more books, you know the rest. It's the last day of school, the official start of summer holidays. NB Now is going, no, 3, 2, and 1. Friday on NB Now, no more pencils, no more books, you know the rest. It's the last day of school, the official start of summer holidays. NB Now is going to look at the end of the school year through the eyes of students and through the eyes of a teacher who's retiring after 31 years worth of the last day of school. Be at your desks promptly at 6 o'clock. Yep. That's the 30. 3, 2, and 1. Friday on NB Now, no more pencils, no more books, you know the rest. NB Now is going to look at the end of the school year through the eyes of students and a retiring teacher. Be at your desks at 6 o'clock. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Friday on NB Now, no more pencils, no more books, you know the rest. Thank you.
Is that it? What next? No more pencils, no more books.
Okay, I'm ready.
Burn it down.
Test audio level.
You sound
Elizabeth
good.
Weir is upset about a forestry deal between the province and Irving, a deal she says was both secret and dishonest. Good? Okay. Take 1. Doug Tyler says the deal between the province and Irving has been in the works.
Were you guys not hearing anything that whole time I was up full screen? Because I just realized the audio meter in OBS disappeared. So if you've just been watching me do funny hand motions silently, oh, you could hear it. Okay. Yeah, that was common. In fact, we still do that. We use our cameras to record plain audio for voiceovers. It's just the easiest thing to do. Why buy and keep track of a second audio recorder when you have a wonderful, very high quality audio recorder right here, right? So we still do that. You plug a mic into our camera and record on our. Oh, you didn't hear anything. So I've been sitting here clowning around, and nobody said anything until now. Now I look like a dummy. Oh, now I feel dumb. That's gonna look embarrassing on the DVR, the stream archive. Oops.
Says the deal between the province and Irving has been in the works since 1996, and he calls Weir's comments despicable, accusing her of using the native cutting dispute to gain a political advantage. But the NDP leader insists details... Sorry, I'll take that over. In 3, 2, 1. But the NDP leader insists details of the agreement should be made public before any final deal is signed. Lisa Blopstein, CBC News, Fredericton. Weir didn't dispute. Natural Resources Minister Doug Tyler accuses her of using it for a political advantage.
Frank Sinatra's been in the sound booth again, has he? Okay, here's a level for you. This week in the Arts Pack, meet a teenager from outside St. John who's attracting a new following for an old instrument. Mike Hall and the Buys in the Arts Pack, Friday at 6 on NB Now.
There we go. I think you can still hear it now.
This week in the Arts Pack, meet a teenager from outside St. John who's attracting a new following for an old instrument. Mike Hall and the Buys in the Arts Pack, Friday at 6 on NB Now.
That was recorded way too
Mike
loud.
Hall in the Arts Pack, Friday on NB Now.
I'll give you a level. Monday on NB Now. Consumers are always looking for a break at the gas pumps, and they may get it this summer. All right? Okay, here we go. Let's try the first one in 3, 2, 1. Monday on NB Now. Consumers are always looking for a break at the gas pumps, and they may get it this summer. Crude oil prices are at crude oil prices are at an all-time low. Here we go. Take 2 in 3, 2, 1. Monday on NB Now. Consumers are always looking for a break at the gas pumps, and they may get it this summer. Crude oil prices are at an all-time low. But does that necessarily mean gas prices will fall?
Why not? Yeah, I'm actually in the studio. I'm behind the studio. The studio's over there, and I'm in this little nook that was built in behind it here. I like it very much. It's working out pretty well. Crude oil prices are at stroke. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. For my first number, I'd like to do something my old mammy taught me as a child growing up in Memphis. Well, It's been 7 months of legal chaos and confrontation since New Brunswick Court of Queen's Bench Judge John Turnbull. Is that going to be fun to say? All right. I'll try not to pop my C's and P's and J's here. It's been 7 months of legal chaos and confrontation since New Brunswick Court of Queen's Bench Judge John Turnbull ruled that trees on Crown land are native trees. The New Brunswick government...
We found Elvis, everybody. He works for the CBC now. Oh, that was funny.
As their Aboriginal rights. Native defense lawyer Cleveland Allaby filed this thick document with the Supreme Court. Native defense lawyer Cleveland Allaby filed this thick document with the Supreme Court today. It asks for an appeal on more than cutting rights. It hopes to prove Aboriginal title to all 11 million acres of Crown land in the province. A second document asks the Supreme Court for a stay of proceedings against native logger Thomas Peter Paul. His acquittal on charges of breaking provincial forestry laws, again. A second document asks the Supreme Court for a stay of proceedings against native logger Thomas Peter Paul. His acquittal on charges of breaking provincial forestry laws led to the landmark decision on native cutting rights. But a second document asks the Supreme... No, I'll get the whole thing here. A second document asks the Supreme Court for a stay of proceedings against native logger Thomas Peter Paul. His acquittal on charges of breaking provincial forestry laws led to the landmark decision on native cutting rights. But the Court of Appeal has now convicted him. Allaby says it's up to the Supreme Court whether a stay of proceedings against Peter Paul would also allow other native loggers to return to the woods legally. No decision is expected until at least this fall, and a full hearing may not take place for more than a year. Roy Yelsta, CBC News, Fredericton.
Doing voiceovers is hard. When you're on the spot and you're in front of that mic...
Final one? Yeah, sorry.
And you have to speak in just... You have to speak in just the right way and sound professional and everything for it to work. It can be hard. If anybody has ever watched CHCO, and you can go to our website, chco.tv, and watch a 24/7 live stream, I voiced over one of our show promos, the promo for NBWA, New Brunswickers Want Action. I did the voiceover for that, and boy, it was a lot of takes, and I'm still not perfectly happy with how I did it. But if you ever catch that promo in between shows, that's that's one I did, and yeah, it can be hard sometimes, and it's a lot of this that we're hearing right now to get her done. Somebody asked what happens to the tapes when we digitize them. We donate them to, if they're tapes from like this station from back in the day, we give them to the Charlotte County Archives. If they're tapes from like Fundy Cable, we'll give them to the Provincial Archives. Tapes like this from the CBC, I assume we also give them to the Provincial Archives. So the tapes are saved. They're archived. We do this digitization mostly for ourselves, so we can put some of it on YouTube and stuff, like the New Brunswick Community Television Archive that I upload to the CHCO YouTube channel sometimes, not for a long time, but yeah, that's what it all does. Is there anything still going on this tape? Don't think so. Yeah, there's no more. No control track. By the way, I'm controlling the VCR with this remote. the model SVRM100 remote control unit. And it plugs into the control jack on the front using Sony's Control S protocol. It's good to use because it has a jog and shuttle wheels on it, which the VCR itself doesn't. The other Betacam VCR we have, which I used to use for digitization, the PVW 2600, that has its own jog wheel on it, which works way nicer than this unit because that VCR has independent motors for each reel spindle, so it's able to shuttle back and forth between directions super smooth and super quickly. This guy's like a standard VCR. If the tape's playing and all of a sudden you want to shuttle backwards, it's going to move some motors and move some gears to get into the move backwards mode. So it's not quite as smooth operating, but it's good enough. All right. VCR's been working good tonight. I haven't, it hasn't spit out any errors. Of course, all the tapes we've put in are small tapes. Might still error out when I put a big tape in, but I don't know. Do we want to do one more tape tonight, or do I want to call it a night and go home? Yeah, I'll do one more. What do we got for viewers? 22 viewers. Yeah, I'll do one more. So this tape, it's a 30-minute tape, Sony BCT 30MA. It says Corp Vid, corporate video, Heartland, Pole Top, Fog. Okay. Tape itself has nothing on it except stickers that say 1 and 2. All right. So pardon your ears in case there's a color bar and tone. Color bars, but no tone. The longest covered bridge in the world, Heartland, New Brunswick. Well, this is cool. I like this. This is very neat. Just little slice of life shots.
Rolling right now and I'm pushed in all the way.
I think that's Patrick's voice you hear. I'm not sure.
I'm going to stop. I can't see it.
Sadly, we actually had a couple of linemen in Moncton had an accident last week, and one of them perished. They were not electrocuted. They were up on poles, and something happened, and I don't know if they both fell or if one of them fell from the top of a pole onto the ground, and he passed away, unfortunately. Very, very unfortunate.
Is it pretty steady right now? It's rolling.
What I'm thinking, Pat.
Lord. The thing just has a great big wobble and I'm zoomed all the way in on this. And you know, just, it just picks up like,
Before because we were zoomed all the way out. Quick stay. Okay, let's just go stab it.
great quality of the video. This is really, really crisp. Nice colors, nice exposure. Everything's perfect on this. Really nice shot. I still have the Avio. It's up on the shelf in the office room. I know I said I'd do a stream or something where I actually use it to edit a video. I know I said that. Not 100% sure I'm actually going to follow through, just because that machine is, it's just so weird, and it's so basic. The TriCaster here, extremely powerful machine, like really, really powerful machine. The Avio is kind of baby's first not a TriCaster yet type deal. Well, it's not a Avio doesn't even try to be like a TriCaster. The Avio is strictly a video editing machine. Yeah, I still might do it. I've still got the Avio, so maybe I'll make that stream where we properly edit a video on it. Not just add text that says farts on it. Someone got really mad that I put farts in the Avio video. They were like, "Oh, I enjoyed this video up until you did the super immature farts." It's like, get over yourself. Like, my God, have some fun. Like, you must be fun at parties. God forbid I put farts in a video. What about the TriCaster you brought home? That's what I'm pointing at over here. We're using it right now to digitize these tapes. I know you weren't here in the beginning, but yeah, that's the workflow now, is I'm using the TriCaster to do this digitization. I've got the Betacam plugged into its one of its camera inputs, and I'm using its recording functionality to record. And that's what you're looking at right now. I obviously still want to make the video of this, the TriCaster. I might disconnect it from this whole setup and bring it home at some point so I can do that. It's just finding the time and energy to do all this stuff. That's what I'm up against. That, and I work a lot. I'm still at work right now, just not working.
Should I be?
This is very relaxing. Or boring, depending on the type of person you are.
exposure.
Good.
40-43. Okay, give me a lateral move to your left with the jib. Lateral. The next time, we got a good one there. That was really well done. Okay. We're really gonna go for it. When this thing goes, I'm gonna do this.
Yes, I can.
We'll fall right around. I'd like to go around this way. We lose too much of it.
Try something. Huh? Well, I won't stand on either, will I?
Well, you come around here. Come around here.
Okay, Steve.
Let go back this way, because we should stay on this side for the.
Just watch that rope, guys, when it comes by, yeah? I mean, it's easier for me to control the camera from this side.
Okay, do it that way.
Yeah, that's Patrick. He's the one. He must be the one behind the camera.
Go ahead.
far, probably.
Excuse me?
Zoomed out too far.
No, he's not behind the camera. He must be training the guy who is behind the camera, if I had to guess.
When that reaches the pole at the other end, I'd like to see yet another zoom move down to a full shot. Where it is for now, when it hits the other pole.
For me. Exactly what I was looking for. All right.
Back of the truck, up to there, up to the two shot.
It's actually just more of a pan than it is a jib. You can't even tell. Okay.
Looks okay. Follow the guy in the bucket.
Tape near in. 50 minutes.
All right. Well, that was cool. That appeared to be, if I had to guess, a training operation. I could hear Patrick giving instructions to the guy behind the camera on what to do and how well he was doing it, and yeah, that was very neat. Very pretty shots in that as well. Really nicely composed shots, and it looked beautiful. All right. Anything else on this tape? I'm gonna say no. Well, all right then. I think I'm gonna call it a stream for tonight. I only had one tape left, so whatever, we'll get to it next time. I would call this a success, using the old TriCaster here to record the Betacam. Had some weirdnesses to work out in the beginning with not being able to use the capture mode and some audio level stuff and stuff like that, but on the whole, I would say that worked out really well. So I'm very happy, and as I have the time and energy to do these streams, we'll start doing them again. So thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by tonight and viewing some old community television content with me. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys back here again in the future. All right, see you later.